25 political associations are at the moment applying to be registered as full-blown political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Represented by one of the national commissioners at an event organized by the Kuka Center, the chairman of the commission, Mahmoud Yakub, acknowledged the process by which political parties emerge in Nigeria, arguing that for people to continue to approach the Commission for Registration of Political Parties show progress and advancement of democracy in Nigeria. Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the registration of political parties ahead of the 2027 general election. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale.
It's a pleasure being here.
Always a pleasure to have you. Just take a quick excerpt from the statement by the INEC chairman. He says that if political parties are not functioning well, why are groups coming up to seek registration as political parties? Do you deem this a necessary move?
No, it is a false assumption. It is a false assumption. How can you say if they are not doing well, why are people coming? That is it the market? You see, political parties are supposed to be involved in political interest aggregation. They must look at the needs of people and evolve ways, programs on how to satisfy. It's not the market. If everybody comes to the market, so the market, everybody's happy. That is not what it is. In fact, what INEC should do is look at the performance of the 21 parties also in the last dispensation, the election, and see how many votes did they get, how many constituencies did they win. You get me? And then reassess them instead of lumping new ones onto them. It is a charade. You go and look at the results. The results. 0, 0, 0, 0. You see, in some constituencies, maybe the major party, PDP, APC, Labour, NNPP, I mean, like NNPP in the North, they won only one state. And they are about losing that single state too. So, political participation should be judged on the basis of performance of the parties at the polls and the way they radiate or relate with their constituencies. You get me? I suspect, you see, you know, there are some allocations for parties to make them function meaningfully. Is that allocation that some people are after? Not political participation, not to redress attend to the needs of those who register them. Some of these people who are president of parties, they come there so that if at the end of the day their party lags behind, they can maybe before the election negotiate for some positions with the eventual winner. Look at the structure of the parties in the National Assembly. You see, they say they are fighting APC not to be one party state. But look at all the ordeal we went through over fuel subsidies gone and all that, and thinking of all that. Remember during the campaigns? Now, the National Assembly is on. This cost of governance that we talk about so much, that cost of governance. Have you ever had Labour, either Labour or another party, say that they will not partake of all those fringe benefits? Nobody has said that. Is that not the one party state already? People put their own selfish interests ahead of the public good. It is not on. INEC is acting on a false premise if it says that if parties are not doing well, why are others coming? This is a fallacy. It is not on. They should reassess the performance of those who have performed and prune them. Prune those first before you add other people to the market, which seems to be their own idea of party formation. But interest aggregation is the main function of parties. Because, this is our group, this is our party, this is what we want. Free education, free health services, we want free transportation and things like that. Then you all come together, form a party. Get me? Not that they can always rent professors to write manifestos. If you see some of the manifestos of these obscure parties, they are more detailed than that of the Labour Party or even the Republican Party in the US. But then, They don't even pick one constituency. And then somebody is saying it is a political market. I disagree. They should do screening of the performance of those in the last election, prune them down, then screen these other ones on what is their spread, what resources do they have, what connections do they have with the masses in their locality, in their region, what needs are biting those they want to represent, interest to aggregate their interests and bring them succor, not just window dressing and having political parties just to say that we are not a one-party state. That's my take for now.
Well, some are saying that the more the merrier, the more people come to the table, the more people's interests within the electorate are represented, the more we pass the test of being a multi-party, a vibrant multi-party democracy. So shouldn't this be a sign that we're moving in the right direction by lowering barriers to entry for participation for people into the electoral process?
Look at the, you see, I'm a victim of performance. I judge by performance. Look at the performance in the last election. You will see it was like as if the country was divided into three. APC one, PDP second, Labour third. Right. Look at the representation in the national. It's along that line. Now people are talking of a one-party state. You see, you don't need to be a one-party before there is consensus to do things the same way. Do you get now? That is there. The main criticism against this administration now is high cost of governance, and then the pangs and pains from the removal of fuel subsidy. But then that concern has not been manifested in the high cost of governance. People have mentioned about the size of the cabinet, the biggest ever. People have mentioned about the size of the contingent to Dubai. Yes, those are issues on the ground that maybe Labour or PDP is doing its best. But with Labour, it's only Obi talking all the time. And people are thinking he's talking because of Sir Graves, he lost the election. But they are the opposition. But I'm telling you, on issues that are nagging, that are financial, that affect the welfare of people, have you ever seen Labour legislators or senators disassociate themselves from the benefits and say they return their own and they are not taking it? So already there is consensus on needs at the expense of the electorate. See, those are issues that INEC, see, I don't like that statement that the fact that more people are coming means the political parties are doing well. Go and look at the results. In each and every constituency, you just go down, down, down. It's only when you see the major parties that you see votes register. They are just window dressing. So they should prune the existing ones based on performance at the last polls, local government, state, and federal. After pruning them, then see if you can add more or stick with what we want. And all those people, let them go and join them.
Well said.
It's not the more the merrier. That is not a sign of political participation or of a buoyant political system.
Okay,
Right.
we thank you for your insight. Now, when it comes to the pruning process that you're talking about, reassessing the performance of those parties, there is some distrust between maybe some of these parties and the electoral body. What would you like to see demonstrated by INEC to show that they're going to be, that if they actually take this advice, to assess the performance of the parties, that they're going to be impartial and relatively transparent or effective when it comes to the pruning process?
You see, INEC is a regulator. INEC is not the political participant. It's a regulator. It's like we have the governor of the central bank. The economy is not performing well, but the governor is there. He has his tenure. The same thing applies to political participation and aggregation of interest, which is what politics is all about. INEC is still there until it is changed. So it has to do its duty. In fact, they just have new commissioners sworn in. So it's not like the old INEC. So until government feels that it is not performed, it is the referee. Football, you don't watch football. VAR, even VAR, which they just brought in now, electronic. You see a clean goal like this, VAR, the commentator say the angle at which you are seeing is as if one has hallucination or you have stigmatism. But the same is on. I think Father Cooker said something like that. That you see, they are changing the goalposts, and that you don't even know what game you are playing. That it is not politics. INEC, let I say INEC fight for its own reputation. I will not speak for INEC. People may not trust INEC. It depends on the experience with INEC, but INEC is still the regulator. It's the referee. So you have to live by INEC and the standard, and you can't do much other than to trust it. And if you do not like what it has done, you protest in the courts up to the highest level. So I have no qualms with INEC. I have no qualms with INEC because it is the regulator, and the law insists there must be a regulator. So let's live with the regulator.
Now, when you look at how diverse and multicultural Nigeria is, some might actually argue and say that it doesn't matter whether there are certain overflow, if I may call it, of political parties, even if some get just one vote. At the end of the day, when we're campaigning for people to come and register to vote, we say every single vote matters. So even if that one person expresses themselves by voting for one political party, isn't it important for us to make sure we keep the lineup as diverse as possible so that we can, the diverse demography of Nigeria has an assorted candidate list to choose from at the end of the day? Isn't that something that's more viable for such a huge nation than for us to limit to just a few? Yes, I understand what you're saying. Some will still get the majority vote. That's the nature of democracy. But does that mean that those few shouldn't express themselves through the smaller political parties as well?
Talking of diversity for diversity's sake. I'm not for that. I'm in Nigeria. There are 250 nationalities here. Speaking of 512, we know that. The motto of this country is like unity in diversity. But I'm talking of political performance of parties. You see the results. Some have scored recurring 0, 0, 0.
No, but Mr. Sobowale, sorry to interrupt you, but if that were the measure, would Labour Party have been given the opportunity to rise to the levels that it has risen to now? It started some way, didn't it?
Look, I'm not, you see, you are not listening to me. I'm going to repeat myself.
Here we go again.
Yes, here we go again. I'm saying that parties are not performing. And then they want to bring in more parties. And then somebody is saying that the fact that more people want to join, it means the parties are doing well. I say it is illogical. That's what I'm saying. And you are saying that the more the merrier. That's what you are saying.
Because we are saying who knows which party will become
but the performance will be at the election.
But
you see what they do at the election?
Yes, but
these parties don't win any seats anywhere, and then they come back.
Does that mean that they can't win seats in the next election?
For how long? When other people are coming, see, you are talking of those there. They are not performing. And then somebody is saying that the fact that more people want to join them means the more the merrier. And you see, diversity is for inclusion and fairness. You get me? And equity. But when the diversity does not show on the ground that there is performance, then it means it's unrealistic diversity. Proliferation of parties at the expense of political participation or delivery of votes, it is please, it's not on. Yes.
Sam. So we'd like to thank you for your insight. As always, the Rise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale. Thank you for joining us on Newsday.